Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep into the world of education in Saudi Arabia today. A
Yeah.
place that's honestly changing faster than, well, anything I can think of right now.
Uh-huh.
It's a fascinating landscape full of opportunity. For those just tuning in, Saudi Arabia actually has the largest student population in the entire Gulf.
It's true.
And they're not messing around. They've got Vision 2030 driving a complete system overhaul.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Vision 2030. It's more than just an education plan. It really is this blueprint for changing, well, everything.
Right. Everything.
The economy, society, how they see themselves in the global stage. They want to be a tech and innovation hub, not just, the oil powerhouse.
Makes sense.
But to do that, you need a workforce that's ready. And
Yep,
that's
education. That's where education comes in.
right. You can't build a cutting-edge, tech-savvy workforce without, well, a top-notch education system.
But how are they changing things on the ground? I mean, where do you even start with something this big?
Well, one big piece is something called Saudization. It's this push to get Saudi citizens, especially women, into the workforce.
Interesting.
So imagine you're a company in Riyadh. You're encouraged, sometimes even required, to hire Saudis first.
So it's not just about getting any degree anymore. It's about getting the right ones for what the Saudi economy actually needs.
Exactly. It's creating this huge demand for specific types of education and training.
It really is a massive system overhaul. And it's happening, what, at every level?
Yeah, pretty much. From primary school up through university, everything's being looked at.
So like in K-12, what's going on there?
Well, one thing we're seeing is this surge in private schools, especially those offering, like, American or British curricula.
Oh, wow.
Parents are looking beyond the traditional Saudi model. They're looking for those international options.
That's so interesting how parental preferences are actually driving change like that. But what about the learning itself? What's happening in the classroom?
That's where it gets really cool.
I've heard some things about digital learning. Is that actually taking off?
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Really?
They have this thing called the Future Gate Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine this textbooks gone, replaced by tablets.
Whoa!
Kids were interacting with lessons online, collaborating virtually.
Wow.
They're even piloting AI tutors in some schools.
It's like something out of a movie.
Right. It really is cutting edge. The big question is, of course, whether it's actually improving things.
Yeah, how do you even measure that?
Well, some studies are starting to come out, and there are some promising results in certain areas.
Interesting. So all this digital stuff, I bet that impacts higher ed too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Demand for university seats is just exploding.
I bet.
Projections show that they might not even have enough spots for all the students who want them within Saudi Arabia.
Mm.
This creates this massive opportunity for international institutions.
Yeah, makes sense. But it's not just any degree, right? It's got to be the right fit.
Exactly. It's about aligning with Vision 2030 with what the economy actually needs.
So, like, what are the hot fields right now? What should people be paying attention to?
Well, unsurprisingly, anything related to Vision 2030 is booming.
Mm.
AI, robotics, renewable energy.
The cutting edge stuff?
Yep, all that. But it's not just high-tech stuff either. Healthcare is a huge area, especially specialized fields.
Makes sense.
As their population ages, they need more nurses trained in geriatric care, for example. And then there's the whole entrepreneurship push. Degrees focused on small and medium businesses, that's huge.
Wow. So it's high tech, but also those really practical skills, the backbone of a diversifying economy.
Exactly.
Fascinating. Okay, but what about the universities themselves? Are there any that are really, like, leading the charge in this new Saudi Arabia?
Oh, definitely.
Which ones?
In the public sphere, the big ones are King Saud University in Riyadh and King Abdulaziz University in Jeddah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
They're attracting top talent, doing a lot of important research, shaping things.
I get.
On the private side, Al Faisal University and Prince Sultan University, both in Riyadh, are very well regarded,
Okay.
especially for their international partnerships and innovative programs. They're really pushing the boundaries.
Sounds like there are some great options for students within the country. But what about those who want to study abroad? Is that still a thing?
It is, but the landscape is definitely changing.
How so?
We saw a big decline in outbound students after the King Abdullah Scholarship Program, KSP, peaked.
Right, that program sent like a ton of students overseas.
Yeah, tens of thousands. But now the government's shifted to a more targeted approach with the custodian of the two holy mosques scholarship program.
So less about just going anywhere, more about going to the right places for the right skills.
Exactly.
Okay, so what does that mean for someone trying to attract those students? What do they need to know?
Well, this new program has 4 different paths, each focused on specific skills and sending students to specific institutions and programs that really support Vision 2030.
Oh, interesting.
So, for example, the Pioneers Path targets those top global universities in fields like AI and biotech, while the Promising Path focuses on vocational training, developing those specialized skills that are in such high demand. Understanding these paths, knowing where your institution fits, that's crucial.
It sounds like a much more strategic approach.
It really is.
But, I mean, all this focus on specific skills, there's got to be some challenges that come with that, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like what?
Well, one that's really interesting is the English language requirement. The scholarship program, it actually provides English language training support.
Makes sense. Not everyone's a native speaker.
Right. But here's the catch. It only provides that support for students going to non-English speaking countries.
Wait, what? So for those major destinations like the US, UK, Canada, Australia.
Nothing. No support.
Yeah, that's a curveball.
It means those institutions need to be extra proactive in supporting their Saudi students with language prep.
Yeah, I bet. And then I imagine the whole geopolitical climate plays a role too, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tensions, diplomatic disagreements, that all impacts things.
Well, like how so?
Well, we saw a sharp decline in Saudi students studying in Canada after that diplomatic disagreement a few years back.
Right.
And of course, Australia's closed borders during the pandemic, that had a huge impact too.
Yeah, for sure. It's complex, all these external factors. So for someone listening, someone who's intrigued by all this, where do they even begin?
Well, I'd say start with Vision 2030 itself.
Really get into it.
Yeah, dive deep. Figure out the specific skills gaps they're trying to address, the industries they're prioritizing.
But it's like once you understand what they need, you can see where you fit in.
Exactly. It's about aligning yourself with their goals.
Okay, but let's get even more practical. What are some things someone could actually do to tap into this market?
Well, research is key, obviously. Understand the nuances of Vision 2030, the specific requirements.
Yeah, can't just waltz in, right?
Right. It's also about building relationships, attending events, connecting with Saudi cultural bureaus.
Networking, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even working with reputable agents who understand the system. Just showing up with a brochure, that won't cut it.
Got to be more targeted, more strategic.
Exactly. You need to show them you understand what they're looking for. So, for example, if you're an expert in, say, teacher training programs that use the latest digital learning technologies, highlight that. Make it clear how you fit in, what value you bring.
So be proactive, do your homework, and build those relationships. No more of that spray and pray approach.
Exactly. It's targeted engagement, understanding the Saudi context, building genuine partnerships.
Which is exactly what this deep dive is all about. But we've only scratched the surface here. There's a whole other piece to this puzzle, and it's the most important one.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
The students.
Yep. Their stories, their perspectives.
Yeah.
That's what we'll be exploring next.
Oh, can't wait. Stay tuned, everyone, because you won't want to miss it.
It's going to be good. It really is. Talking to these students, you realize they're not just passively receiving an education. They're like shaping it, challenging norms, pushing for progress.
It's inspiring, isn't it? And it seems like they're not just focused on individual success either. There's this real sense of community.
Oh, definitely.
National pride woven into everything they talk about.
Yeah, they're proud to be Saudi, proud of their heritage, but also excited about the future.
And I understand Saudi women are playing a particularly significant role in all this.
Absolutely. I mean, remember, they're now the majority of university students in the kingdom.
Wow.
They're studying engineering, medicine, business, everything.
It's a real testament to the social change happening in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
But, I mean, let's be realistic for a minute. Every opportunity comes with challenges. What are some of the hurdles that, say, international educators might encounter in this whole evolving landscape?
Well, one hurdle is definitely the regulatory environment. Saudi Arabia has specific requirements, accreditation processes. It can be pretty complex.
Yeah, I bet.
It's not just a matter of setting up shop and saying, hey, we're open for business.
Right.
You really need to do your due diligence, understand the rules of the game.
So it's essential to partner with, like, local experts.
Oh, yeah.
People who can guide you through the process, make sure you're meeting all the standards.
Absolutely. That's key.
Yeah.
But regulations are just one piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Well,
Cultural differences can be a big factor, too.
of course. I mean, different norms, different ways of doing things.
Right. And Saudi Arabia has a different cultural context than many Western countries.
For sure. Like, what kinds of things?
Well, communication styles are different, gender roles, even social etiquette.
It's not just about being polite, it's about showing genuine respect.
Exactly. And willingness to adapt, to learn how things are done in Saudi Arabia.
But these differences, they're not just obstacles, are they?
No, not at all. They can be opportunities.
How so?
It's a chance to broaden your horizons, to gain a deeper understanding of a different way of life.
I like that. So turn those challenges into
Yeah.
opportunities. But still, building relationships in a totally different culture, that's got to be tough, right?
Oh, yeah, it can be. Especially when you're competing with institutions from all over the world.
Right. Everyone wants a piece of this pie.
It is a global race, for
Okay.
sure. But, it's not just about winning. It's about finding the right partnerships.
The right fit.
Exactly. The opportunities that align with your strengths, your goals.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what makes you unique, what value you bring.
It's like we've got this treasure map to the Saudi education market, but we've got to figure out how to use it.
That's a great analogy. We've got the map, but we need to decipher the clues, navigate the terrain.
And that terrain can be pretty tough, especially for newcomers.
Oh, for sure. Which is why it's so helpful to learn from those who have already been there and done that.
Okay, so give us some examples. Tell us about the people who are actually making it work.
All right, well, one really compelling example is this partnership between a leading U.S. university and a Saudi government ministry.
Oh, wow, that's big.
Yeah, they work together to develop a custom-designed executive education program specifically for women in STEM field.
That's fantastic. Like the perfect combination of expertise, need, and social impact.
Exactly. It was a huge success. The program gave these talented Saudi women the leadership skills and confidence to really excel in STEM industries.
That's what it's all about. Stories like that make me want to hop on a plane to Riyadh right now.
Right. It's proof that it can be done and that the impact can be huge.
Do you have any other success stories up your sleeve? I'm ready for more inspiration.
Okay, well, how about this? A British ed tech company partnered with a Saudi private school network to implement a cutting-edge digital learning platform.
Oh, cool. So they brought the tech, and the Saudi schools brought the students and the context.
Exactly. It was a win-win. The students showed significant improvements in engagement, academic performance, and even things like 21st century skills, collaboration, problem solving.
Wow, so it's not just about the tech itself, it's about how it's used.
Right, it's about the pedagogy, the approach to learning. And this partnership really nailed it.
These stories are so encouraging.
Yeah.
But we've got to be real, not every venture is a success story, right?
Oh, definitely not. There are pitfalls.
What are some of the common ones that, say, international educators should watch out for?
Well, one we already touched on, but it's worth repeating. Cultural sensitivity.
Right. Can't underestimate that.
Don't assume that what works in, say, London or New York will automatically translate to Riyadh.
Yeah, like showing up in shorts and sandals, expecting everyone to speak perfect English, or thinking you can seal the deal with a handshake.
Right. Take the time to learn about Saudi customs, adapt your approach.
Do your research, basically.
Exactly. Another common mistake is rushing into partnerships without proper due diligence.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic one.
Research potential partners carefully. Understand their track record. Make sure their goals align with yours. Don't jump at the first shiny opportunity that comes along.
Look before you leap.
Right. And then, of course, there's the legal side of things.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other beast.
Be sure you have clear contracts, agreements in place.
Protest yourself.
Exactly. The legal landscape in Saudi Arabia can be quite different, so it's crucial to get expert legal advice.
Makes sense. Okay, so cultural sensitivity, due diligence, legal clarity, anything else to add to that list of pitfalls?
Well, we haven't really talked about the language barrier.
Oh, right. Even though English is used a lot in business and higher ed, Arabic is still the official language.
And it's important to be mindful of that. While many Saudis speak English, especially in professional settings, having a translator can be invaluable.
Especially for those nuanced conversations.
Exactly. It shows respect, and it ensures clear communication, which is crucial in any partnership.
Okay, so we've got cultural sensitivity, due diligence, legal stuff, the language barrier. Anything else before we move on?
One more thing, and it's a big one. Don't underestimate the importance of building genuine relationships.
Oh yeah, that human connection.
In Saudi Arabia, personal connections, trust, that's everything. It's not just about transactions.
It's about building those bonds, that rapport.
Exactly. Invest the time, get to know your Saudi counterparts on a personal level.
Make those connections.
That's where the real magic happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all these challenges, potential pitfalls in mind,
Yeah.
let's look ahead. What's the future of education in Saudi Arabia?
Right, we've talked about the present, the opportunities, but what about what's next? What trends are shaping things?
Well, one major trend is definitely the continued emphasis on technology and innovation.
Makes sense. They're already doing so much in that area.
They're really pushing the boundaries, investing heavily in digital learning platforms, personalized education, cutting-edge technologies like AI and VR.
So if you're an ed tech company,
Oh yeah, or an educator with expertise in online learning, there's a world of opportunity waiting for you.
it's like a giant laboratory for educational innovation over there.
It really is. But it's not just tech. They're also laser-focused on developing skills for the fourth industrial revolution.
AI, robotics, data analytics.
All that. They're creating programs, providing training, really trying to equip their workforce for the future.
So if your institution offers programs in those areas.
You're in a prime position. It's all about aligning your expertise with the needs of the future, not just the present.
Makes sense. What else is on the horizon?
Well, they're also continuing to focus on empowering women.
Good.
More scholarships, support programs specifically for women, initiatives to encourage female entrepreneurship, especially in STEM fields.
It's about creating a more inclusive, more equitable education landscape.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And then there's internationalization, which is still very much a priority.
I was wondering about that. So they're still looking outwards to global partners.
Oh, yeah. They want to collaborate with leading institutions around the world,
Yeah.
enhance the quality of their own system, expose their students to global perspectives.
So for institutions with a strong global reputation.
It's a fantastic opportunity. It's all about building bridges, not walls. And it's not just one way either. They're also encouraging Saudi students to study abroad at those top universities worldwide.
So it's a two-way street.
Exactly. A dynamic exchange that benefits everyone.
But with all these trends, all these opportunities, it can be a bit overwhelming for institutions, right? Like, where do you even start?
Well, my advice would be to start by understanding your strengths, your goals.
Okay, so figure out what you bring to the table.
Exactly. What's your unique value proposition? What specific expertise or programs do you offer that really align with Saudi Arabia's priorities? Don't try to be everything to everyone. Focus on what you do best.
Find your niche, basically.
Right. Once you know that, then you can start researching the market, identifying potential partners, opportunities.
Okay, so how do you do that? Where do you even start?
Well, there are some great resources out there. The Saudi Ministry of Education website, the Saudi Arabian Cultural Mission in your country.
Okay, so those are good starting points.
Attending international education conferences and events can be really helpful too.
Network, meet people.
Exactly. And joining professional organizations, those focused on global education, can also be valuable.
Okay, so network, do your research, stay informed.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to reach out to experts, consultants who specialize in the Saudi education market.
Get some guidance, basically.
Yeah, they can help you avoid the pitfalls, point you in the right direction.
Like a Sherpa guiding you through the mountains.
I like that. And remember, patience and persistence are key.
It's a long game.
It is. Building relationships, navigating the regulatory environment, it all takes time. Don't expect overnight success. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Love that analogy. So what are we waiting for? Let's lace up our running shoes and get started.
All right. But before we do, let's take a step back for a minute. We've talked about goals, opportunities, challenges, but what about the human element?
You mean the students themselves?
Exactly. What are their hopes, their dreams? What kind of education are they looking for? What are their visions for the future?
Those are great questions, and luckily for us, we have a whole other episode dedicated to just that.
We do. In our next episode, we'll be hearing directly from Saudi students
Awesome.
about their educational journeys, their perspectives on the changes happening in their country, and their hopes for the future.
I can't wait to hear what they have to say. It's always so inspiring to get that student perspective.
It is. It really grounds everything. It's a reminder that at the heart of all this are real people with real dreams.
And by working together, we can help them achieve those dreams.
Exactly.
Build a brighter future for all. All right, so we've talked about the big picture, Vision 2030, the opportunities, the challenges, but now let's hear from the students themselves.
Yeah, their voices are really what matter most.
We've had the chance to speak with several Saudi students, and their insights are honestly remarkable.
What struck me most was their ambition.
Yeah.
They're not just, going through the motions.
Right.
They're really engaged, eager to learn, passionate about shaping their future.
It's infectious.
It is.
So let's dive into some of the key themes that emerged from your conversations with them.
Okay.
What are these students looking for in their education?
Well, one thing that came up again and again was this desire for an education that's more than just memorization.
Right, not just rote learning.
Yeah, they want to develop critical thinking skills, be problem solvers, innovators.
Makes sense. The world's changing so fast. Those are the skills you need.
Exactly.
Did you get a sense of what fields they're most interested in pursuing?
Definitely a lot of interest in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, math.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about, you know, getting a good job.
Right. It's bigger than that.
Yeah, they see these fields as ways to solve big challenges like climate change, water scarcity,
Wow.
healthcare innovation.
They're not just thinking about themselves, they're thinking about the world.
Exactly. There's a real sense of purpose there.
And that purpose, did it extend beyond just careers?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Many of them talked about wanting to serve their communities.
Make a difference.
Yeah, have a positive impact on society.
Now, I'm curious, did you notice any generational differences? I mean, Saudi Arabia is transforming so rapidly.
That's a great question. And, there are some differences.
Yeah.
The younger generation, those who've grown up with Vision 2030, they tend to be even more open to global perspectives,
Interesting.
more comfortable with change. They really see the world as their oyster.
It's amazing how a societal shift can impact a whole generation's mindset.
It really is.
What about technology? What role does that play in their lives and their education?
Oh, technology is just ingrained in everything they do.
I bet.
It's how they connect, how they learn, how they access information. They're true digital natives.
And they see it as a tool, not just a distraction.
Exactly. A tool for learning, for collaborating, even for social change.
Did any of the students share specific examples of how they're using technology to make a difference?
Oh, yeah, all the time. One student I spoke with is developing an app that connects volunteers with community service opportunities.
That's amazing.
Another is using social media to raise awareness about environmental issues.
Wow.
They're not waiting for someone to tell them what to do. They're just doing it.
That's what I love to hear. They're taking initiative, creating their own opportunities.
They are. It's a reminder that young people, no matter where they're from, have the power to change the world.
Absolutely. And these students are proof of that. They're ambitious, engaged, and they're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
They're the ones who will shape the future of Saudi Arabia.
And the world is watching.
They are.
It's been an incredible journey, exploring Saudi Arabia's education transformation.
Yeah, from the big picture goals to the individual student stories.
We've covered a lot of ground, talked about opportunities, challenges, and most importantly, heard from the students themselves.
They're the heart of it all.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights,
Bruh.
a deeper understanding of this dynamic landscape.
And maybe even some inspiration.
Right. Inspiration to get involved, to be a part of shaping the future of global learning. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.